In LA this week, city leaders joined volunteers in the 2015 homeless count in an effort to provide services to the men, women, and children who live on our streets with the hope of one day ending the homeless epidemic.
I'm Anna Marcos. The Autry's Southwest Museum in Mount Washington now designated a national treasure. More coming up.
A man who revolutionized sound in the movie industry gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm Yana Kay. The details next.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. Every 2 years, LA must conduct its homeless count required by the federal government in order to get more homeless services funding. The goal is to have volunteers go to every part of our region to speak to the homeless and see what and where the need is. Anna Marcos takes a look at the count in one San Pedro neighborhood.
Councilmember Joe Buscaino joins volunteers, the LAPD, and LA Homeless Services Authority workers as they comb the streets of San Pedro looking for homeless residents. Every 2 years, the city of LA is mandated by the U.S. government to conduct a census count of its homeless population.
Do you have kids?
I don't.
With those numbers, of course, we're going to know how much resources that we need and also know the dollars that we're going to look for in the state, federal, local level.
Thousands of volunteers work all night for 3 nights, looking in LA's darkest corners to get as accurate a homeless count as possible. So what do they look for?
Another thing we're looking for is cars and vans. That's considered homeless as well. Vehicles, tents, makeshift shelters, you just mark it there.
We are very passionate about helping homeless veterans and homeless veteran families.
Just want to see how many people we have here. We're getting a count, okay?
The LAPD and a Homeless Services Authority response team are there to provide any services needed, such as in the case of an underage girl. Authorities find out the underage girl actually has a real home.
She does have a home, and she has a father that has full custody of her. However, she does have a mother that lives out in the streets, so we got to take her home.
The count helps authorities keep up to date with the changing demographics of who is homeless and why. But it also keeps homeless dollars coming in to help get more people off the streets. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
According to the LA Homeless Services Authority, there are more than 39,000 homeless on the street in LA County on any given night. The Los Angeles Police Department and the Black community continue to repair trust in the aftermath of the officer-involved shooting death of Ezell Ford. And one way to do so is by opening lines of dialogue. Yana Kay takes us to yet another recent public meeting where officers and residents met face-to-face.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts so we can work together to continue to build our trust and transparency between the community and the police department.
LAPD police officers take turns introducing themselves during a community town hall meeting put on by the San Fernando Valley chapter of the NAACP. The goal of the gathering, which took place at the Greater Community Missionary Baptist Church in Pacoima, was for the community to connect with the police department and talk about how to resolve issues that exist between the police and the Black community.
That's part of the LAPD's efforts to dialogue with all different types of individuals that live in the city of Los Angeles so we could find out what issues and concerns they have about the level of service that they're receiving.
Theo Gales of the NAACP says one of those issues is that the community feels some officer-involved shootings of Black men are not handled properly by the police. But at the same time, he says a lot of problems would be eliminated if individuals who do get stopped by officers understand the protocol of the process.
Our young people need to be taught at a young age the procedures to follow once they are pulled over by a police officer. It's no time for them to get out of their cars and go to asking questions, but to put themselves in the receiving mood. In other words, respond to the orders given by the person who's in authority.
LAPD Chief Charlie Beck was scheduled to attend, but he was not there when the meeting took place. Police officials and community members hope an open line of communication will help improve relations and save lives. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
While shootings grab headlines, the relationships and trust being built between officers and residents don't often get reported. But that all changed recently when a married LAPD couple grabbed the attention of the White House for the work they're doing to reduce crime in some of LA's toughest neighborhoods through youth sports. Gilbert reports.
I'd never been this ecstatic about representing the department.
LAPD Sergeant Amada Tingirides and her husband, Captain Philip Tingirides, describing their incredible whirlwind visit to Washington, D.C. They were honored guests of President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama.
The first thing she said was, "I am so impressed with the work that you're doing in Watts." We walked into the room, she started talking about our Watts Bears football program. She had mentioned that we were doing policing right in the Los Angeles Police Department.
The Watts Bears football program is part of the community policing formula that's helped reduce violent crime in South LA by half. LAPD officers coach kids from low-income housing projects, but they're also nurturing the children and building relationships with their families. The HBO program Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel profiled the team late last year, and Mrs. Obama was watching.
And I think we've made more progress in 2014 towards reducing crime and had one of the lowest numbers of actual homicide incidents in Watts that's been seen in decades.
Captain Tingirides led the outreach through the Community Safety Partnership Program. In recognition, the First Lady invited him to sit with her group during the President's State of the Union speech in January. That's Captain Tingirides on the left of your screen with other esteemed guests of Mrs. Obama, including astronaut Scott Kelly. Captain Tingirides now wants to focus the partnership program on the Vermont Knolls area of South LA, where gang activity has increased recently. The strategy expected to be more of the same, fewer arrests and more relationship building.
The main point in that is getting the right officers with the right demeanor, the right attitude to go in and work.
To duplicate the success in Watts. Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And in This Week in Tweets, Captain Philip Tingirides and Sergeant Amada Tingirides received quite a bit of congratulations via Twitter. LAPD Chief Charlie Beck tweeted a photo of the smiling couple with the caption, "LAPD is proud of Captain Tingirides and Sergeant Tingirides." Attorney General Kamala Harris tweeted, "LAPD's Captain Tingirides represents the best of California law enforcement. His presence at the State of the Union is a tribute to all of those who serve." Meanwhile, LAPD Southeast tweeted this photo of Captain Tingirides, which says, "Presenting Captain Tingirides with his first official Commander Tingirides desk nameplate." That's because Captain Tingirides is leaving the Southeast Division after being promoted to commander of the South Bureau, which oversees a population of roughly 640,000. The Bureau's coverage area includes USC, Watts, and the Harbor Gateway neighborhoods. From faded paint to revitalized art, a mural in a Boyle Heights housing project comes back to life, giving the community renewed religious inspiration. Anna Marcos takes us to the unveiling.
The Virgin of Guadalupe, symbol of hope, social justice, freedom, and community action, is something of a patron saint in Ramona Gardens, which is why the unveiling of her mural in the Boyle Heights housing project makes for such a big celebration.
This is very special for us. This is a tradition for our community.
It's really a promise fulfilled. Ramona Gardens community, particularly the seniors, had requested from City 14 that this beautiful and revered mural behind us, which we'll see in a little bit, La Virgen de Guadalupe, Virgin Mary mural, be restored.
Over the years, many of them have become faded. Some of them have graffiti, peeling paint, and it's just very important to restore them to their original beauty.
The mural was first created in the 70s and redesigned in the 90s, but had become dilapidated. Some $10,000 in a city funding source for murals, as well as funding from the Housing Authority of the City of LA, made it possible to train area youth to help the lead muralist finish the project.
It has a deep meaning because of the cultural significance in the Mexican culture, and not just Mexico, but Central America and different places of the world where where people worship the image of the Mother of Christ.
The Ramona Gardens community is no stranger to street artists. Murals of all kinds grace the walls of its buildings. And now, the Virgin provides one more wall mural to look over the residents. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
There's a shift going on in Los Angeles. City leaders are taking a proactive approach in making sure LA is prepared for the next big earthquake. Yana Kay reports.
LADWP crews are installing brand new earthquake-resistant pipes along the streets near the Northridge Hospital, nearly 2 decades after the devastating 1994 Northridge earthquake. The new pipes are part of a $10 million LADWP pilot project to protect the area's water supply when the next big earthquake strikes.
We're not only serving the critical facilities and transporting water in the future around the entire network that would be built as earthquake resistant, but we're making it much closer and much easier to restore by reducing the amount of problems that we will have.
Mayor Eric Garcetti says these new Kubota pipes, which are made in Japan, have more space at the joints, allowing extra room for the parts to move, unlike traditional iron pipes that crack when the earth moves around them.
But these pipes here, they flex, moving in sync with the ground as it buckles and bends.
Officials say that even though these pipes are more expensive than regular pipes, they're already used in Japan and have been proven effective during major earthquakes there. Officials hope they can have the same impact here.
The reasons for these efforts is to provide safe and reliable water and sustain life and firefighting efforts here in our water system.
The pipes are part of Garcetti's earthquake resilience plan that aims to improve infrastructure in the city so that Los Angeles is able to withstand and provide services after the next big shaker.
We are very appreciative of the fact that we are recognized as an important community asset, and we will continue to serve this community.
This year, LADWP plans to expand this pilot program to downtown, the harbor, and West LA. This project is expected to be completed in December. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
The Northridge Hospital repiping is the second seismic safety project being undertaken by LADWP. The first was completed in Sherman Oaks in 2013. It's a gem of an LA landmark, and now the Southwest Museum will shine even more brightly. A new historic designation will now ensure its future and hopefully also bring in more funds. Anna Marcos has more.
LA's oldest museum has long been considered a local treasure, but now the 100-year-old Autry Southwest Museum in Mount Washington has made the national ranks. The National Trust for Historic Preservation just named it a national treasure.
It is both a national icon because of its story and its architecture and its collection, but also the work that we do here we know will have implications for other sites like this across the country.
It is a highly significant native collection, which is very important to me, as is important to the heritage of this area.
The exhibits give us a glimpse into a part of California history that many of us aren't even aware of. But this museum also keeps pace with the present, offering lectures and special events, taking part in community festivals, and even opening up its community garden to the public every Saturday.
We have long held the belief that the Southwest Museum is a treasure to this community and Los Angeles.
The new National Treasure designation will give the financially strapped museum more options in getting funding, and the Trust will provide ideas for how the museum can expand and reinvent itself.
I want this site protected for the future. That's what I want. And I want it protected in a financially sustainable way.
The Southwest Museum is part of the Autry National Center, which also runs the Autry National Center of the American West at Griffith Park. For more information, you can visit www.theautry.org. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The National Trust will also be launching a new website to serve as a forum for the public to share ideas and suggestions on the future of the museum. The popular La Brea bakery is known for its artisan breads and loaves, and now the company is stepping up production and helping to boost the local economy in the San Fernando Valley. Yana Kay explains.
Fresh out of the oven, these artisan buns are making their way to packaging on a new conveyor belt. In fact, this Van Nuys factory was just recently opened as part of expansion plans by the La Brea Bakery, which is part of the Arista Global Food Company.
This was really the heart and the soul of La Brea. It was raised here, and it started here in Los Angeles, and this was the first really automated bakery that we had in our system. And what we wanted to do is to expand here.
City and company officials held a ribbon cutting to welcome the expanded facility to the neighborhood. La Brea Bakery, which began operations here in the San Fernando Valley in 1998, has an existing factory at this location, but the new 66,000 square foot addition brings the total to 130,000 square feet. Oh, it's so warm. Now, thanks to this expansion, the company will now be able to produce and ship an additional 4,500 cases of fresh bread a day throughout locations in the western United States. The bigger factory also means significant investment and more jobs in the community. So far, the factory has hired more than 100 employees to work. Expansion efforts were supported by Council District 6.
So the good news is that we're expanding in Van Nuys, in the district in Los Angeles, and taking care of and employing the people of LA.
City officials say supporting local businesses' expansion efforts is a win-win for both residents and Los Angeles. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
La Brea Bakery plans further expansions in the San Fernando Valley later this year. And creating more jobs is also on the minds of those in the Watts community. A new kind of city Worksource center has just opened there, and it's ready to provide residents with job training, career management, and a future. Anna Marcos takes us to the groundbreaking.
It's the first of its kind in the nation. The new Watts Los Angeles Worksource Center in Imperial Courts will be the first full-service Worksource site inside a public housing project.
Yes, we as a family going to make mistakes, but we got to fall and keep on going. Doors are being opened as we see when we cut this ribbon.
Supporters are counting on the site bringing hope and jobs to a community in dire need of economic opportunities.
Workforce investment is vital to the reduction of welfare dependence and towards revitalization of the economy.
We have a problem here. We have a skills gap. So we need to close the skills gap so that everybody has the opportunity to get out there and compete for these new jobs in healthcare, in biotechnology, in hospitality.
Steve Brown is one of the lucky ones here. He took advantage of training and career guidance at a Worksource center in another location, and he can now provide for his family with a construction job he landed.
We ain't got no example to what to be. All we see is people shooting and selling drugs, and I don't know, it doesn't make no sense. We got to make the community better, but no one sees that. And the Worksource Center helped me out by guiding me towards a positive direction.
I'm happy to be here to celebrate an opportunity of hope, an opportunity of empowerment, an opportunity of inspiration.
The center aims to do more than just pave the way to a minimum wage paycheck. Many of the applicants here will get a chance at a job with a living wage and a future. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The Watts Los Angeles Worksource Center is one of 17 full-service centers in LA. It's expected to help more than 13,000 job applicants in the next 5 years. Holocaust Remembrance Day, the tussle over who will manage the Greek Theater, and improvements to a South LA skate park. These stories in CITYBEAT. Councilmember Paul Koretz joined Holocaust survivors and community leaders at the intersection of Fairfax and Beverly to observe International Holocaust Remembrance Day on January 27th. The intersection is home to the statue of Raoul Wallenberg, who helped save over 100,000 people from the Holocaust.
We also have had this statue since 1988, but never really had anyone responsible for maintaining it. And so at times it's fallen into disrepair. Today, a group called Parents, Teachers, and Students in Action has agreed to perpetual maintenance of this statue. So that also makes this a great day.
On Holocaust Remembrance Day, the United Nations urges every country to honor victims of the Nazi era. Management of the Greek Theater at Griffith Park may not change hands after all, at least not without a vote by the full City Council. Back in October, the city's Recreation and Parks Commission recommended turning management of the Greek Theater from the venue's current operator, Nederlander, over to Live Nation. But in a major victory for Nederlander, a city council committee has rejected that recommendation. Those in support of the current management company rallied in front of City Hall prior to the committee meeting.
That over 30,000 members of our community have signed on to a petition supporting Nederlander AEG. They've operated the Greek Theater for the last 39 years. They've done a very good job operating the Greek Theater the last 39 years. They have worked very well with our communities.
The issue now goes before the full city council. In addition to the Greek Theater, Nederlander also operates the Pantages Theater. Live Nation's venues in Los Angeles include the Wiltern and the Hollywood Palladium. Councilman Curran Price, Deerdeck Foundation, and California Endowment recently rededicated a state-of-the-art skate plaza at the Gilbert Lindsay Park in South LA. Part of the $330,000 for the renovation came from a grant from the California Endowment donated by Deerdeck's Foundation. Councilmember Curran Price then matched and exceeded the grant with a contribution of $170,000 to complete the cost for the needed renovation. The 10,000 square foot skate plaza features handrails, stairs, gaps, ledges, and more. Residents of El Sereno celebrated improvements to one of their local parks with a weekend barbecue. And it's just that kind of community spirit, city leaders say an improved park is designed to foster. Burgers on the grill, kids getting their face painted, families enjoying some quality time around the picnic table. It's all to celebrate the extensive makeover at La Guardia Park, also called El Sereno North Park. And the community came out in droves to mark the big day as music filled the air.
It's a small park here, a local park that is maybe the only park for quite a ways, and so it really gets a lot of use by the local El Sereno neighborhood. And over the last several years, we've spent over $200,000 bringing improvements that the community have asked us for: a new playground, fitness equipment. We're going to be resurfacing the basketball court, resodding the soccer field, which gets so much use. And on top of that, we've trimmed the trees and replaced all of the sidewalks surrounding the entire park.
The new fitness zone, featuring exercise equipment like ones you see in a gym, is a big draw, not just at La Guardia Park, but at facilities throughout the city.
2010, we had about 4 throughout the city. Now we have about 60 of them, and about 7 or 8 on CD14. People are allowed to come out here with their kids and do some exercise while their kids have some fun in the play area, play basketball, or just enjoy the park.
If there was just one complaint about the makeover, it was the timing.
I would have liked to have seen it done during the summer so that more families could come out and enjoy them, but hopefully now that they're here, it'll be a plus.
But all in all, residents only have good things to say about what the changes will mean for the neighborhood.
Hopefully it improves community outings, more families coming out here, enjoying the park, and more family-oriented.
La Guardia Park is located at 4400 Garden Homes Avenue. In this week's list of things to do, an exhibit on Stevie Ray Vaughan, a flower arrangement workshop, and a movie screening aboard the USS Iowa. LA Harbor International Film Festival invites you aboard the USS Iowa battleship for the free screening of the 1995 HBO film, The Tuskegee Airmen, on Sunday, February 8th from 5 to 8 p.m. The historical drama is about the first African-American pilots in the U.S. military in World War II, known as the Tuskegee Airmen. The soldiers endured harassment and prejudice until they proved themselves in combat. The film will be screened aboard the battleship Iowa al fresco on the aft fantail deck. The ship is located at the Port of LA at 250 South Harbor Boulevard in San Pedro. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert Friend, one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen, will address the group and participate in a brief Q&A. Go to pacificbattleship.com for details. The Grammy Museum unveiled Pride and Joy, the Texas blues of Stevie Ray Vaughan, last summer, but there's still time to catch it. Located on the museum's 4th floor, this one-of-a-kind exhibit offers visitors an in-depth look at the iconic career of the legendary bluesman. Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie's brother, served as a guest curator and provided the museum with many of Stevie's personal, never-before-seen items, including early family photos, original stage outfits, handwritten lyrics, and much more. The Grammy Museum is located at 800 West Olympic Boulevard. The exhibit will be on display through July of this year. For museum hours and other information, go to grammymuseum.org. One of the art district's most popular stores, Poquetto, not only stocks unique, often one-of-a-kind gifts and home decor items, it also holds workshops like its floral workshop on Sunday, February 8th, led by Greta Pector of Glasswing Floral. Greta will lead workshoppers in creating the ideal flower arrangement, a perfect combination of color and balance, as well as in crafting everyone's favorite accessory, flower crowns. Greta can be credited for the stunning floral arrangements at downtown LA's Ace Hotel, and her list of clients goes on to include Los Angeles Magazine and Bravo TV. The class will be held at the Poquetto flagship store at 820 East 3rd Street in the Arts District downtown. Go to Poquetto.com for the cost of the workshop and other details. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. They say silence is golden, but when it comes to watching a movie, sound is key. And the man who developed breakthrough sound innovations received a special posthumous honor. Yana K reports.
If you're a movie lover, you've no doubt experienced the incredible sound of Dolby audio. The late Ray Dolby, the man who made it all possible, was honored by his friends and family with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
We're very excited about this, and especially since my husband isn't around anymore, so at least we have something to go to.
Ray Dolby, who died in 2013 at the age of 80, is recognized around the world for pioneering groundbreaking audio technologies which transformed the movie-going experience.
Well, the Dolby sound changed film. It got rid of the hissing sounds, and it's been used since the early 90s.
Through his company Dolby Laboratories, he was able to produce cleaner, crisper sound, as heard in Steven Spielberg's movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind and countless others. The people who knew him say Ray did what he loved, which was inventing and thinking about the future.
And as a result of that, he has literally transformed the entertainment experience on this planet.
Hollywood producer Francis Ford Coppola came to honor Dolby for his vision and the impact he had on the film industry.
I have this personal connection with a man who is, to me, a hero because he was an inventor, and I've always been enchanted by the stories of inventors.
His memory lives on, and through the granddaughters who are here today, and it's an honor for them to know that their grandpa was a very special person.
Now, Ray Dolby's star is conveniently located right in front of the iconic Dolby Theater here in Hollywood. Now, the star becomes the 2,540th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm Yana K for LA This Week.
Over the years, Dolby Laboratories has received 10 Academy Awards and 14 Emmy Awards. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you could catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.